Here's Draymond with a hot take on the play-in tournament. Listen to this, guys.
It's the best thing ever created. When you look at the play-in and what it's done for basketball, it's the best thing ever created. Like, I don't know who came up with it. I know Bron said they need to be fired. If they were fired when Bron said that, they need to get their job back because the play-in is insane. Like, since the NBA has added the play-in, it's taken the last month and a half of the season to a totally different level.
I couldn't agree more. But Stephen A., America wants to know what you think. What's your take on what Draymond just said there?
I think he's absolutely right.
Correct.
I love the play-in tournament. I love what it's done for the regular season, how it's elevated, the importance of it, and it's really, really prioritized that last month and a half of the season. Because you got to remember, there's a drop-off once the Super Bowl goes off the air.
Correct.
And so you're talking about February, and then you get through All-Star Weekend. And bottom line is, All-Star Weekend, I believe, has hurt the game. I think that it's been used as an opportunity for us to see the level of nonchalance that the players themselves have put forth for All-Star Weekend. It's not a priority at all, and we've seen the quality of play dissipate. I mean, thank God for the three-point shooting contest, because if it were not for that, All-Star Weekend would be an absolute joke. It's really, really bad, and they've got to do something about it. And so when you got the Super Bowl, and then that happens, the month of February is essentially a wash. Then you get to March and April, and the play-in status really, really matters. And that elevates in your mind's eye the importance of each and every single game. You see a level of urgency being adopted by the athletes, and as a result, you say, okay, this is what we were waiting for. And so that's a beautiful thing. I think the play-in tournament has been great for the league. Great.
Most time, professional athletes are resistant to change. You know what they said? In 1979, the NBA added something. It was the three-point line. And everybody said, man, it's a novelty because they had an ABA. And nobody liked it. Guess what happens? They love the three-point line now. Everybody runs behind the three-point line, Wendy, and jacks up shot. And I remember the same thing with the play-in tournament. Nobody liked it. Now it's been, as Draymond said, it's been one of the best things the NBA has added in a very long time. We see it with baseball, that play-in, and then all of a sudden. So it's good. Like I said, athletes are very resistant to change because we've been doing things a certain way for an extended period of time. They said the same, man, why we need a football? Why you need a 17? Why you need an extra playoff team, 7? Look at it now. Yeah. So it's been great, and think about what you got. You've had LeBron. This is probably the second or third time that LeBron has been in the play-in tournament. This is the second time that Steph Curry has been in the play-in tournament. I don't think Commissioner Silver, when he instituted this, he was thinking those guys were going to be in it, but he couldn't ask for a better situation because you got two pantheons in the play-in tournament, and all eyes are going to be watching tonight because the Lakers play the Pelicans and the Warriors play the Kings. So it's been great addition. It's been a great addition.
Well, Stephen A., I read your book, which I believe was called Straight Shooter, and in it you talk about the importance of business always being on the front of your mind. Yes. And at the end of the day, this is a great business move by the NBA because 6 games were added. 2 tonight, 2 tomorrow, and 2 later this week. 6 games were added that people care about, that are really important, that fire people up, that also wipe away meaningless games at the end of the season because teams keep the pedal down. It's a home run across the board, and the NBA loved the play-in tournament so much, they created more games for the in-season tournament. And if they could figure out how to do a preseason tournament, that's next on the agenda.
If the Lakers and Warriors both don't get out of the play-in, is it a failed season for both?
I don't think so. Here's the thing. The West is really, really good, guys. And 46 wins for the Warriors. I know that that's 10th. In other years, it would be so much better. Like back when the Warriors won 73 games, 46 wins would have been the 5 seed. The league wasn't that good back then. That's one of the reasons why the Warriors tore it up. This is really a good, deep Western Conference. Other than the team that plays the Nuggets, okay? Whoever draws the Nuggets, whether it's the Lakers or somebody else coming out of the play-in, or I guess it would have to, be the Pelicans. Whoever draws the Nuggets are going to be favored. Any other series in the Western Conference, I don't think you can say that there could be an upset. I think That's how tight this is. You look at the Lakers. You know, Shannon, this is the second best Laker regular season record in the last 13 years. Other than the year when they won the title back in 1920. This is the second best regular season. The Lakers go 13-5 down the stretch. Like, you want to call them the 8th seed? Fine. You know, I guess, you know, they could win tonight and guess be the 7. Call them the 7. You want to call the Warriors the 10 seed? They went 27-12 in the last 39 games, half the season. They're top 10 in offense in that stretch, top 10 in defense in that stretch. Like, these are good teams. The Kings are really not that much different of a team than they were last year, except this year they had some injuries. Last year they didn't. Last year they were the 3 seed. This is a tough, skin-tight Western Conference.
You got two guys, LeBron and AD, both averaging at least 25 points. AD is like second or third in rebounding. You got two guys on the 75th anniversary team, and you talking about this isn't a failed season? Unless they get to the championships, you got Steph Curry, who might be the most impactful player in NBA history, and he's the 10th seed. He's in the play-in.
These teams ahead of them are good. These are good teams.
You making my point. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, which guy in the playoffs right now currently will have a better career than Steph Curry and one LeBron James? Because that's what we are. We're talking about transcendental players.
I know, but that was 10 years ago. Like, is it okay for Steph and LeBron to have a good season? If I say to you, hey, Steph just played the most games he's played in 7 years. If I say to you, LeBron just played the most games he's played in 6 years. He just had the best three-point shooting season of his career. Can they have a good season? Is that acceptable, or do they have to win, or they're terrible?
Wendy, think about what you just said. LeBron just played the most games he's played in a very long time. You said Steph Curry just played the most games he's played in a long time.
Yeah, they had good years.
And they're the 8th and the 10th seed. You're making my point for me.
No, you're making my point. That's how tough the West is. You can have a really good season, and your team's just not good enough. It doesn't mean you're a failure.
Oh, okay. Wendy, stop. Stop it.
Thank you.
This is LeBron James and Steph Curry that we're talking about here. At this point in time in your career, when you've got that much going for you individually, and you've got requisite pieces around you that are deemed respectable or more, you know good and damn well you got to make the postseason. You can't miss the postseason and the season's not a failure. Not when you're those dudes.
Thank you.
Hell no. You can't have that. This is LeBron James we talking about here. What the hell you think LeBron James still playing for? Contrary to what he tried to get people to believe, it ain't so Bronny could come to the NBA. Okay? This man is still playing because he's still going for that 5th ring. He's still playing because he knows that he's still on an elite level. LeBron James is still one of the greatest players in the world. 21 years.
Yes.
39 years of age. Did I give it to him? Are you happy? I gave it to him, all right?
Shot a career high for the three-point line.
How about that? Okay, excuse me. When you look at him, when you look at Anthony Davis played 76 games this year. Do you know what a failure it would be for Anthony Davis to play 76 games, to be an all-world, as far as I'm concerned, first-team All-NBA player? Anthony Davis has been sensational. For him to be sensational and available, and LeBron James to still be at an elite level, and the Lakers don't make the playoffs?
But aren't you making my point?
Hell no.
It'd be one thing if they played terrible. They didn't play terrible. Their teams didn't really play terrible. The West is just really good. These young guys are really good. Anthony Edwards is a stud.
Wendy, time out.
Luka Doncic is a stud.
Time out, Wendy. We didn't say failed season for LeBron or for Anthony Davis as individuals. Lakers, Warriors, with LeBron and AD, with Steph, giving you what he's giving you, and they have no postseason appearance to show for it.
Thank you.
That is a failure.
Yes.
That is a failure.
Absolutely.
There's no way around that.
There was a 12-year span where either LeBron or Steph were in the finals. 4 of them were against each other. But for 12 years, 11 of the 12, we saw one of them in the finals. That is the standard that they're held against. But back then, the league wasn't like this. They were in their primes. They could carry their teams. The league is tougher now, and they're not as good because they're older. That's the reality.
Wendy,
That's real.
Did we not sit on this airwaves, and I'll give you the last word, Shannon. Did we not sit on these airwaves, Wendy, weeks ago, talking about, regardless of the great stuff that was going on, how desperate the NBA is for at least one, if not both of these dudes to actually be in the postseason because they were still needed because they're transcendent figures, obviously, that extend far beyond the court of play, their impact on the game of basketball. With all the great young talent that's in the NBA, with all the competition, with the evident parity, particularly in the Western Conference, we were still talking about this is still Steph and LeBron's league. We still said that. We just had this conversation weeks ago. You cannot miss the postseason and consider that that is not a failure.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, I pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. The CDA over here,